So now we've started our main sprite. When you click him, he talks. He asks you a bunch of questions. You choose folklore or science, how you would like to learn. And we've actually added our 2 science people. So now it looks very confusing over here because everything is shown at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and then if you just click the code, it hides the buttons. That way they go away because we're past that for the moment. Okay, so now we're going to focus on these 2 sprites. We asked which scientist do they want. I wrote, awesome, now choose your scientist. So on these, we're going to have a broadcast to make them show, and then we're going to have to move them. So let's check it out. Okay, so when green flag is clicked, or excuse me, when the cat receives science, he's going to say choose, and these need to show. So let's broadcast. Events. Broadcast. I'm going to call it science people. Peeps. Okay. So when I receive science peeps, when I receive science peeps. Okay, and now as I did that, I realized I was missing some code under Devin, okay, and my friend Danny. So under Danny, when green flag is clicked, they are going to move to this location. When Devin's green flag is clicked, he's missing everything, so we're going to go to where he is. That way they're at 2 separate sides, okay? So here we go. We're going to go to that place. Then, what did I have? I just had set size and hide. So same thing. When I receive science peeps, I'm going to show. Right? And we're going to need one more hide around here. So we'll just put that there. Okay. Danny, when I receive science peeps, I'm going to show. Okay. And I'm going to need a hide. Because if Danny is selected, Devin has to hide. If Devin is selected, Danny has to hide. There's a lot of broadcasts in this. This is like all broadcast. When I receive Devin, we're going to hide. When I receive Devin, because he's going to act when he hears his name. And when I receive new message, Danny. Okay. And so when he receives Danny, he hides. When he receives Devin, which is his name, we are going to move and maybe over here. And he goes to there. Okay. Now this code I actually want to put on Danny also when they receive their name. Okay. So it's kind of complicated for right now. It looks a little bit messy over here, but that's okay. We are getting used to it. Okay, now I want them to continue on. Okay, so now we are going to start talking about more things. But this is where Danny and Devin's code are going to be similar because they're both going to kind of be saying the same thing, but you can make it a little bit different. You can make it the same. And here's where you start teaching somebody about what you want them to learn. Up to this point, you were just coding the beginning. So now, for the science, you're going to talk about what is the Northern Lights, what causes the Northern Lights, what colors, and where are the best places to see them, and how do you take pictures, or anything else you could think of. Okay? So maybe, and for this, we're going back to the cat for a second. When I receive Danny or Devin, I'm going to hide him. Now, I always say, if you're hiding something, you have to remember to show. So when the green flag is clicked, you're going to show him. Okay, so he's going to hide. I'm going to hide him. Okay. I'm even going to hide Danny. Okay. So now I'm just on Devin. He's going to say, hello, let's start talking about the Northern Lights. Say, click what you would like to learn about first. And maybe I'll do a control. Broadcast. And we'll do S options. I'm going to add one of those long buttons. And when I receive S options, and we're going to duplicate. Never mind. And I want 3 options. So button 3, I'm going to move first, then button 4, and button 5. I'm going to change the costume of button 5, and I'm going to put the question here. Okay. So you would write the actual question here. You're going to do the same thing for button 3 and button 4. Now these options are going to show as soon as that code is completed. Okay? So again, we started with the cat sprite, we have the 2 scientist options, and we have 3 questions. Now we're going to do broadcast and receive based on these questions. When this question, if the person clicks on this question, you're going to explain that question. But I'll continue. But try this at least. And then this code needs to go to Danny also. Oh no, it didn't go to anybody. Okay. I have this code already. Sort of. Okay. So now both of them will show. When S option, we're going to looks, show, and that means there's also a hide. There's going to be a few hides. Okay. Control. When I receive S options. When I receive S options, looks, show. We need at least 2 other hides. Okay. When the green flag is clicked, obviously it's gone. And then once one of these buttons is clicked, we need it to hide. And once this button is done talking, then it would come back to S options where you could choose most of them. We'll add a home. Okay, so that is part 2.